Hey, everybody. It's Nightcap Knowledge. This is Mr. Mac right here. My boy DJ George Chuck is out there working hard. So we're going to get ready to make this thing do what it do. This is a good time right now. Everybody go ahead and share. Share with your friends out there. Share the information. Share this live. And we can get ready to get everything started. So we'll take a couple of seconds to go ahead and start sharing. And we're going to get ready to dive into something that's really new and different for Mississippi. And we're going to get ready to talk in depthly about the Mississippi Cannabis Business and Health Expo, brought to you by the Mississippi cannabis industry. It's a lot of good things that are coming out of this, man. So make sure you go ahead and share this information now. This is a game changer, right? As you see, I'm wearing my green Mississippi Move shirt. It says moving Mississippi forward, all gas, no brakes. It's in that nice bright color green. So I want you to go ahead and start sharing that now. All right. We're gonna get into these groups. Hopefully, we get some more people to jump on in a few minutes. But as you know, this is black. This is our show is black and uncensored. Real talk, real issues, real solutions, and we come to you with some real information. As we do always, we coming out with the mental health minute. We have a mental health minute. It happens every Monday, and we usually give you a recap of what that was like, a recap of our weekend, and kind of keep you up to date on what's going on in the community. So we're going to talk about the importance of celebration. That was a mental health minute. It's important to celebrate your victories. It's important to celebrate people. It's important to celebrate life. Things have been happening, so much tragedy, so much trauma. It's important to celebrate those things. Even though you might not achieve the goal that you set for yourself, you celebrate just trying. You celebrate getting close to that goal. Don't let anyone deter you. It's very, very important to celebrate. With the pandemic hitting in March of 2020, when you get to some events like they had, just past Saturday, Tougaloo had their homecoming. It was important to see people that you hadn't seen in a long time, right? Just that little camaraderie does a lot for your social well-being. So it's important to celebrate. It's important to celebrate dates, times, and it's important to celebrate people, but also it's important to celebrate yourself and the accomplishments that you have made and all the things that you have been through. It's very, very important to celebrate yourself. So we're going to keep going. We have some great guests lined up. Chuck is out DJing right now. The brother wear many hats. So he out there creating a groove for somebody. It's a busy season right now. March is going to be even worse. So, shout him out on social media if you see him. And then also we're going to get ready to get into this show tonight. Now, a lot of people know that medical marijuana passed in the state of Mississippi. What does that mean? There's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes. A lot of people have been working hard for years to just even get that on the slate, to get it on the ballot. And we saw a lot of politics that happen, but we know that a lot of good things come out of medical marijuana. So we want to talk about not just the health benefits, but also the wealth benefits and what can happen and how you can create jobs, professions, and be able to sustain a household by being able to use the plant. So we're going to get this. It's a new shirt we're going to come out with. It's going to say free to plant. It is not dope. It is hope. So hashtag free to plant. We got some folks that are going to come on and talk to us about that right now. It's a good time to share. If you're in the comments, drop say something. Let me know where you are. They gathering in the background. They're gathering in the background. One of them at a parade. When I tell you this sister be going everywhere, I'm talking about she was out of the country, came back in. She was in North America. Now she's down in the Big Easy. So we're going to get ready to bring her on. Introducing to some and reintroducing to others, we have the CEO of Hemp World, Miss Deandra Dee.
Hey.
All right. And now we got all the way from North Mississippi, all the way from Tupelo. There she go. Miss Bethany, Mississippi.
I cannot wait to see you.
Look at y'all acting like y'all been eating them gummies, hadn't you? Y'all been eating them gummies.
We haven't got to see each other in 3 weeks. It's been too long.
It's them gummies.
Too long.
Or was it the cookies?
I got my fashionable hat here.
You like you've been baking some of them cookies. So look, let's catch everybody up, right? So we want to catch everybody up. We're talking about this great exciting thing, the medical marijuana, but also we're talking about this great event that's happening on April 16th, which is going to be the Mississippi Cannabis Business and Health Expo. There have been business expos before, there have been health expos before, but this right here is centered around cannabis and the benefits of it. I don't think a lot of people understand the job creation that can come out of this and how the law is written. You got to be self-sustained with this. You know, everything got to happen here, and there's a lot of opportunity for folks. So y'all jump in, tell me how it started. You know, from the background, from getting this thing going, and just give us, educate some people a little bit about medical marijuana and where we go. So y'all jump in.
You want to go first, DD?
Yeah,
I gotta pull my drink. I didn't pull my drink.
Initially, we started with the legalization of marijuana here, well, in the state of Mississippi, when Initiative 65 was passed, and that was basically to legalize medicinal cannabis in the state of Mississippi. So we went through a whole bunch of drama, y'all know, and Initiative 65, we had a 2765, and we finally legalized a couple of weeks ago. So we're excited. So as I've said before, we're on the cusp of a green industry here in Mississippi. Everything has to be started from the beginning, from cultivation to processing to testing to dispensaries. So of course, Bethany and we've been at the forefront of legalization here in the state, and we've made a lot of wonderful connections, and the industry's coming, and we want to help welcome that and bring that to the state. So of course that's what we have done, and we're so excited about it.
Well, kind of give everybody a little bit about your background. Introduce yourself and what you're connected to. So, Bethany, I know it's your first time on the show. Introduce yourself, who you are, and your connection to this whole piece and what you do.
Okay, so I'm Bethany Hill. I'm a cannabis activist. I have been a cannabis consultant in the state since the Farm Bill in 2018 passed. So basically, we started a nonprofit organization to fight what happened to the 74% voters. And we fought for that and helped with the bill. And now that we survived our first time in the arena, really battling it out, we started the Arena organization, which is where we will continue to battle it out constantly for you guys, not just in cannabis, but in other public policy as well. So DeAndre and I have dreamed of helping with other issues. Our close friend and advisor, Teresa Tran, as well, also trying to figure out how to, to get people home for the holidays that this bill frees that are imprisoned and things like that. So by starting a new organization, DeAndre and Teresa and I really felt that we could help with a lot more issues that were really are close to our heart. So we're starting our new organization, and that organization will actually be at the forefront of the industry expos that we're going to be putting on across the state every year to bring the cannabis industry together. And the cannabis industry includes more than just dispensaries and grows. I want people to realize it's lighting companies, it's nurseries, different things like that with soil and different things like that, nutrients. This really helps a multitude of things. So we're going to help educate people in that and really try to bring them all together.
Man, I think that's a real eye opener. Because when people think about medical marijuana or think about the plant, they think about bringing it out the dirt, dry it out, roll it up, smoke it. And majority of people, right, DeAndre, even with hemp and CBD, they don't really consume it via smoke. They do other products, right? So that's the same thing what happened with medical marijuana, right? You'll be able to put it into brownies and different things like that. That's a whole other industry.
There's a ton, like I said, there is going to be a ton of opportunity for all different types of businesses. I could just off the top of my head, bakeries, insurance agents, like Bethany said, lighting, farmers, nutrients, transportation, security. And the list just goes on and on. Education for dispensaries and bud tenders, and it's just endless list of things and opportunities that the people of Mississippi can expand, being one of the most impoverished states in the US. We can spend this thing, and a lot of people can become very wealthy if they take the time and do the research and just invest into the cannabis industry. So it's blooming, it's coming, so we want to help prepare and educate the state.
So for everybody out there listening, this Mississippi Cannabis Business and Health Expo, there will be health officials, agencies that will be there, because understanding the whole purpose of medical marijuana is for health benefits, but it can be benefit because as we teach about financial health. Finances are part of your health. This is an
Yes.
economic booster. This can help you, even being able to use some of the medical marijuana products instead of pain meds, which probably will cost a lot more than the medical marijuana products will. So that's a lot of things that we need to help people understand and educate, that this expo is not just for people that's looking for a job. It's for people that want to start their own business. It's for people that have a profession already. You might already have a trucking company, and
Right.
you want to be there to network with these folks, because the goal is we're going to have some big fish at the table. We're going to have some folks out there that are doing the production that are going to be at this expo. You need to be there with resume in hand saying, hey, I have a security company. I can help transport this product from your plant to the dispensary. Hey, I have a degree in marketing. I can be able to come on and help with you and market this. Hey, I'm an IT specialist. I can help. There's room for everything that you think of that you have a degree of certification in, even to the person that wires up the plants, right? And I say plants, I mean like the building. If you are an electrician, there's a job for you. If you're a plumber, there's a job for you. And if you work in healthcare, hey, specialize and understand the benefits of medical marijuana in your patients that suffer from certain chronic illnesses. Become an expert and a consultant and educate folks. If you're a farmer and you know how plants grow, you can educate folks on that, because there are some things that you need to know about the bill that's going to, and from my understanding, you're going to go over some stuff at this expo, educate people a little bit more about it, do some presentations, but you're going to get it from the horse's mouth. You'll get it from the experts. Anybody in the comments right now, if you have a question or comment right now, it's a good time to drop it in there. It's a good time to drop your message, say something, let folks know what you're thinking, how you feel. And I'm going to check on this. And we just want to make sure that people understand the impact that this can have, the positive impact it would have on our community. What are some other things you could think about when you think about this whole idea about the industry, sustainability, or you could talk about some of the benefits, from medical marijuana, or folks that will qualify. You could, either one of those things would be good.
Do you want to jump in, or do you want me to?
You go ahead, girl. You got it.
So one of the benefits that
Look, I'm standing outside waiting on an Uber, so I can.
We just had dinner dropped off. I haven't even eaten dinner yet.
Me neither. I'm starving.
Hey, me three.
This is life for us, y'all. We do it 24/7.
Me three.
Easy. Oh, I'm sorry. Productive, Mac. I'm
productive, not busy. Productive. Productive.
No, absolutely. And so many people just hear cannabis and they just run away, and they don't think about, oh, I'm part of the electrical union. Oh, I could make 50% more per year if I went and worked for this business over here. So by bringing all of this together, not only does it help normalize cannabis, which is the ultimate goal. We're patients. This is normal medicine. We don't want anybody. It should be just as acceptable to have a glass of wine as it is to have a blunt. So that's our ultimate goal, is always to decriminalize it, not just on paper with the legalization, but also in people's hearts. So by doing this and make it a natural thing that happens in Mississippi multiple times in these cities every year, we really just put ourselves on the map and across the planet, not just in the United States. We've been followed with the plight that happened in Mississippi. We have a following all the way to Europe already that have watched what happened to us and watched us fight to get our bill back. So I really think they're going to watch how we pull it off, how we pull off the industry, and how the programs we implement, the software we implement, you name it, we're going to be watched. So our first industry expo has to incorporate those industries, and it has to show people that Mississippi is not last, and we're going to show you what it's like to be first.
Mm.
Yeah.
Man.
Education is key for the state of Mississippi. Mississippi and cannabis is like ancient lithographs.
Right.
I mean, it is people, the education. I can go back to where we're doing a store, CBD. We're doing Hemp World in Starkville, and the city was kind of spooked. It was like, oh, this is weed. No, this isn't. This is CBD. It's hemp. It's completely legal. The 2018 Farm Bill. Obama and then Trump legal. I went ahead on and made it so we have this. So the cities don't have any idea what's going on. The people in this state are very uneducated about the medicinal properties and benefits of the plant. Both Bethany and I are off all of our medications because we use cannabis as a form of alternative treatment. So it's always the ones with the 50 pill bottles that's rolling their eyes at the cannabis users. And I'm like, okay, but we're healthy, plant, it grows with water and sunlight. So we're excited to so my Uber's coming, y'all. So I don't know if and y'all gotta forgive me. Y'all know my parade story. So
yeah. So celebrate. We appreciate you jumping on.
My friend. So she made history.
Mm-hmm.
This the hat. The first parade in a parish in Louisiana in 30 something years. So I had to fly in to support her. So I'm jumping in the Uber. How you doing, sir?
I love it. I love it. I can't wait to see you. No, go have fun. Tell her congratulations from us and send her big love.
Right. So
Hey, I think that's good security. Keep the Uber on. We could keep an eye on you. Make sure you're all right. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. But look, we definitely appreciate you. Those who are watching, check out Hemp World locations coming up around the state. Got one in Starkville, one in Olive Branch. So of course you got Pearl and Jackson. So make sure you check out Hemp World. Yes. A lot of great things coming. 420 events coming. So you make sure y'all stay tuned. They will be back on the show. I know DeAndre is about to get off, but me and Bethany, we got some more stuff to talk about. And if you get settled and you decide you want to jump back on, we'll be on for a few more, for a little while longer. So jump back on. But we're going to dive more deeply into educating more about medical marijuana.
Well, I love you. I'll see you in a couple of days, baby.
I love you.
Bye.
All right. So, Bethany, we talked about those medicinal benefits. Give us some examples of some health benefits that according to the bill, those people will qualify for medical marijuana.
Yeah. So some of the main conditions. Now, of course, it's ultimately, your doctor can, if they think it would benefit you, they can ultimately say that. But they list some basic conditions like, so for example, multiple sclerosis on there, but fibromyalgia isn't. But if your doctor knows you have fibromyalgia, of course, it does a lot of the same symptoms that MS does. So
back up what you say. You said what is on there?
Multiple sclerosis.
Yeah. Okay.
So MS is on there, but then like fibro's not, even though it's a lot of the same symptoms. So we'll try to petition to get these things officially on there at a later date. Some things that I've had success with were endometriosis, polycystic ovarian, and adenomyosis. Those are pre-reproductive issues. I was supposed to have a full hysterectomy in my early 20s, and I said no. And a year after moving out west and starting medical cannabis, I was pregnant, and I have an 8-year-old daughter. So we're going to try to get those reproductive issues on there as well, because obviously we need those. Cancer, terminally ill, obviously just get you on there without question. But your doctor does have a say. If the doctor feels you would benefit from it, from PTSD to anxiety to depression, your doctor will make that recommendation. So we're going to.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We're going to do our best to help educate local health services as much as possible, and just really try to be out there educating people constantly and pumping out content to help explain the benefit of it as best we can. Of course, with like websites like PubMed, you have scientific articles and things like that constantly being published, but they're a little bit complex and a little difficult to understand. So we'll just try to simplify them as best we can over the years.
Yeah. So at one point in time in my life, I wanted to go to law school. And because I, as a community organizer, one of my jobs was to go to the Capitol, get the bills, read the information in the bill, go to the community and break it down into, and we always say do everything on a third grade education level. And then take that information from the community, change it over, and then give it to the legislatures. And I think that's a great thing because I see that in different areas where people try to talk over folks' head, and it be very simple stuff, and they could use it in a different terminology, but they choose not to. They choose to use what the terminology within that field, and they talk over folks' head. I think when you could break some of this information down about medical marijuana and the basic things that it could treat when you're dealing with a lot of strong medication controlled substances, and you say, hey, you could take a plant. And I think what it said, 3 ounces was about 1 joint a day, maybe, if depending on how they rolled it. So now instead of having this medication, you have another way of taking care of yourself. Yes. And then the legality of it. And I would say this to folks, understand now we're still in Mississippi, right? So for those people that are Black and brown, make sure that you understand the same rules would apply that it would apply for a controlled substance or alcohol. So don't operate the vehicle. Don't take pictures under your steering wheel in the vehicle. So don't do those things because even though it's legal, it's still the same rules apply in how you use it. Yeah,
exactly.
You can get that pill bottle you get from your doctor, and you're like, yeah, but it says do not operate this vehicle at a certain. So it has the same thing. So we want to make sure that people don't do all of that. So all that type of information is going to be, it's going to be ongoing with consultings and presentations, and also a part of the Expo, educating folks about that. So this is a big thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So are there a lot? I'm hearing there's a lot of big players either in Mississippi that have come or are coming to Mississippi. They have some big names that are ready to do some big business in Mississippi.
There are several. So over the last 8.5 months when we were doing our nonprofit work, of course, working with the bill directly, we had no business interests. We didn't do anything with business. We essentially just worked on educating legislators and working on the bill specifically. But by doing that, we were in contact with a lot of people that wanted to bring in jobs for Mississippians. Now, you did get some grief from supporters and other activists like out-of-state companies. Well, sorry, we've had an illegal substance in this state. You have to have some outside companies come in to help facilitate a decent job growth in certain areas. Now, the way I mean decent job growth is a boutique grow will have maybe 5 to 10 people, whereas a massive commercial grow will employ upwards of 250 people. That's the difference. So a few big companies coming in make a huge difference in a post-pandemic economy. So we have kept in touch and kept good relations and helped explain all the changes that are happening with the bill, not only to local business owners, but a few of the bigger ones that are coming in as well. And so we talked about all the different benefits that Small Business Mississippi needed as opposed to these bigger businesses coming in. And so we got the micro tier program that Blackwell proposed. And so now we have an avenue for local Mississippians to really be able to afford to get in on this. And honestly, it's going to give them a lot of new perspective and a lot of new excitement. A new industry is exciting for people. A lot of the legislators were really worried that with our job growth, et cetera, that this wasn't going to benefit, but people are excited about cannabis. It's a new avenue. There isn't a day that comes out that there isn't some new study and some new fact that we find out that is so incredibly fascinating about cannabis. And there's not a day that goes by that you don't hear some patient's story about how their life was saved. My life was saved by cannabis. So yeah, you can judge me for smoking cannabis all day, but it was that or death. And when you're staring death in the face, you can judge me all you want, but you would have made the same decision. And I'm so proud to be a cannabis user where I wasn't before. I was scared. I'm not scared now.
Yeah. And that's what, we talk. This show is very, very, very blunt. So, yeah, I don't know if you got any of your folks watching, but I was like, you have to have a certain level of fuck it. And
Yeah.
I specialize in that. You got to have that. You can't worry about how other folks look. Like between me surviving and you not thinking a certain way about me, oh yeah, fuck it. It doesn't matter. So I think that information, like we talk about the different grows, I know they're gonna be doing licensures and stuff like that. The prices, I know they were going back and forth for what it qualifies for. You have to qualify to be able to get licensed. And once you get licensed, you can open up your own dispensary, or you can just license to handle it. How does that work?
So there's so many different tiers. Maybe I could try to put out some content and send it over to you where it kind of breaks it down a little bit for everybody. So your micro tiers, like it starts at like 1,500. And so that's really affordable for somebody to have just a tiny boutique grow. But then your commercial license tiers, those are much larger. And they're for the bigger companies that you have coming in, like Southern Sky, Magnolia Grows, Mockingbird, all these big companies. So there's a little bit of something for everybody. Now, is it a perfect bill? Is it perfect for everybody that's getting in? Well, no, but there never has been. We're dealing with a federally illegal substance. We're doing the best we can. So we're kind of hoping that when everybody starts applying for licenses over the next couple of months, we get a lot of feedback. What are the things you guys like? What are the things that you guys don't like? What are the things you want us to try to fight for you guys in Jackson over the next 9 to 12 months? What's important to Mississippi now that we have our industry? And so these are all the things. Guys, message me if you've got any questions, advice, tips, anything. Reach out because it's all about networking and communication to get this community off the ground.
So anybody that's out there, that if you're interested, now when you say a micro tier, there was like a little greenhouse in the backyard.
Yeah, it's a little tiny. Yeah, it's a little tiny grow. And you got a couple options on a tiny grow. So, you can have smaller contracts. It's a lot more affordable to get into it. The overhead is a lot less expensive than like your big 160,000 square foot grows, for example. Because you can't just think about the money to get into the industry. I want people to really consider the keeping yourself in the industry. Factor in 2 to 3 years of salaries, factor in 2 to 3 years of electricity, factor in 2 to 3 years. Give yourself time to make your money back. It's a new industry, new laws, new regulations. Now, we will be on top of it, letting you guys know what those changes are, but be smart. Be smart because it's still federally illegal. So you still have a lot of federal regulations that you have to worry about. So that's what we're going to try to do with the AO is try to educate everybody on this. This is why the industry expo is so important because we'll bring in those experts to explain everything to you. Being at these events are so important because not only are you going to meet people you want to do business with, you're going to meet people that you want to hire for your company. And then you're going to, network with all of these different people that you want to just know in this industry. And cannabis is a whole different playground, isn't it? You don't have this kind of love in the tire industry, for example. Nobody's getting that excited about Goodyear. But in cannabis, we love it. We're excited to work together. Mac, I've fangirled you so many times since I've got to talk to you and been so excited to have you work on the expo just because you're a legend.
No, I'm just a country boy. I'm just a country boy trying to figure out a way to continue to advocate. And the crazy thing about it, my first thing I organized against was illegal dump sites. And we talked about how it poisons the water and the plants, right? And I've been advocating and organizing around different things. But also we talk about those tools, that same thing that can benefit you, the same tools that have been used as tools of oppression, which is the Bible Belt condemning folks for being able to use things that were outside of the norm in this area that have medicinal benefits just because certain people didn't like it when they did worse out of sight, but the industry and what this could do for the state, what it can do for the people that's in the state, it's endless, right? It's basically what it sounds like to me. It's your imagination. So say for instance, if I wanted to say I want to design products, just to the bags, if I wanted to, there's so much stuff you can make money off of in any industry. And a lot of times people just think about that one thing, But you don't think about, hey, somebody gonna need clothes, somebody gonna need designer, apparel to wear with their company. Some people gonna need, and then the industrial side of
Yes.
of hemp and medical marijuana, like there are products that you make from medical marijuana and hemp that's almost indestructible. So we
Yeah.
ain't even just talk about the smokable edible. We're talking about products from clothes to the coating you put on a car that can be
Yeah.
made
And
from
airplanes.
between airplanes. So
Well,
it's
one of the things I always love to point out to legislators when I talk about the importance of cannabis, and people kind of laugh at me when I say cannabis will change the world, and I love to explain why. So we talk about the medicinal benefit of cannabis, but just hemp in itself and hemp plastics. You have an island that is bigger than Texas floating around in the Pacific that's just trash. And hemp, you can grow 4 acres of hemp in no time at all and save acre of trees. Like that's huge. Why aren't we doing that? And I really feel like Mississippi can really get to the forefront of hemp plastic industry, and that's what's going to change the world for our children. That's what's going to be important. And I really think Mississippi hasn't even begun to see what this is going to mean for us.
No, I think it's limitless. So everybody that's watching now, share with some friends. If you are in accounting, you damn sure want somebody to help keep your books straight when you're dealing with medical marijuana. If you are in accounting, start doing your research now with other companies. I mean, in other states and how they deal with medical marijuana, right? Security. If you're in law enforcement and you want to make some extra money, go and get you a van, armor the truck, specialize in transport. You own your own trucks, whether it be short haul or long haul. Start looking at it, because if they grow it here, they still have to get it from that place to another place, right?
Exactly.
So it's endless. It's an endless thing. Whatever you do for a living, if you run a restaurant, think about, how can I take and make cannabis butter or make a cannabis product and be able to cook this, and put it. Now there's what's the name of it? Oh man. Man, and I know my wife back there is just like, she's saying it. What's the name of this movie? It's a movie with Mike Epps and Ti, right? And it's a movie with them too. And they started cooking their chicken wings in it, and they sold out.
Oh, yo.
Right. So just think about that, right? So that's a whole nother idea about food based products that
Yeah.
can be used, and it's plant, so it's vegan. So
Yeah.
so I just want people to think about that, be ready, stay tuned, keep up with the expo, keep up with the information, start pulling your information together, start putting your resumes together, start putting your business plans together, because there will be someone at this expo from all walks. There are people there that are ready to hire employees. There are people that are looking for consultants. There are people that educate you on how you can start your own business. There will be medical professionals there that can talk about the benefits. We can talk about the legality side of it. It's going to be everybody that you need to know that's going to be there if you want to do anything with this cannabis industry.
Yep, pretty much. And of course, y'all contact us if you have any questions. We have launched multiple cannabis consulting firms that will help with different things. And really, the industry is going to blow up. You guys have no idea how big it's about to get. So if you've ever wanted to get into cannabis and want to help patients, just let us know, because we can help you point you in that direction.
It's a thing I want. Can you drop your information in the text so people can be able
Yeah.
to catch up with you? And I think it's your consulting business. Talk to people that's been at the forefront. Talk to the people that has been, her and DeAndre has been in the ear and at the table with the legislatures. Talk to the folks that are getting it straight from the horse's mouth. Some of them, might be the horse other end, but still talk to them because they know who's who and what you need to know. But yeah, follow up with them if you have any real questions and you want to get into this business, because there's something for everybody to do. And when you have products like that, this is like the new industrialization of how it with the peanut. How they took the peanut and made so much product from the peanut. This is our time now in this state and what we can do with medical marijuana. I think I just lost Bethany on the internet. Hey, I don't know if anybody else out there has the same displeasure that I have for AT&T, but AT&T, y'all are some terrible ass folks for forcing people, for one, to upgrade their phone when they don't want to. People know what they want, and stop trying to force stuff on folks. So I know a lot of people have been having problems with their phone because y'all forcing people to upgrade so they can buy new stuff. But stop cutting people goddamn phone off because you don't know what they're doing, and then get on the phone and try to make them upgrade and get this phone. Nobody got time for that. They are working. They are doing other stuff. So I'm fussing at AT&T now for stop cutting people damn phone off. And even y'all damn house service is terrible. That's why we be having all these glitches. So get your shit
Mine's Verizon, but I feel that a lot.
Verizon kicked this thing off with moving to the 5G. And so if you met Representative Stamps and what he was saying in Mississippi, while we trying to move to 5G, we got people that don't have 2G. We don't have, in some areas where you don't have service, period. So now you're trying to force everybody to go to 5G. We got people that stand in the middle of their house and get no signal.
Yeah. I'm one of them. I have to sit outside when I'm at my home, not my Jackson house. Like, I have no service at all. I have to sit outside for every stream, every podcast, you name it, every phone call.
And
we have no internet. It doesn't come to where we live.
You are in the capital. So just think about people that are in Charleston, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Midnight. You are in these smaller areas, Horn Lake. You are, some of these other areas. What do you think they're doing?
Oh, I live in one of those rural areas. There isn't even regular internet where I live. We have to use hotspot to stream anything.
Yeah. And there, that gentleman you see that's in the comments, that's your IT specialist and your website designer. That's Sabir. So that's the guy that I was telling you guys about. But he said funny story. So Sabir's gonna give us a tech story. He has tech jokes that go along with his story. So it's like talking to the folks that with accounting. They number jokes and tech jokes kind of go half and half. But he's gonna talk about it when we get out there. But so it's so much happening right now. We talk about industry moving forward. While they are moving forward and doing whatever they're doing with technology, we definitely want to use that and maybe move forward with the plant. Because Mississippi has a lot of land.
Yes.
Now, one of the things I think was in the legislation, they have to do indoor grow, right? So it can't be outside.
Exactly. Yeah, but outdoor grow actually creates a lot of different issues. So there were several issues that we had to bring up. There are quarantine issues with stuff if it's grown in a certain area. If you're doing outdoor grows, then everything in every dispensary can only grow from those quarantine areas and sell from those quarantine areas. Cross-contamination. There were lots and lots of things why they didn't do outdoor grow at this point. Just for, we're just not ready for that just yet. We'll get these indoor grows, then maybe even by next year or the year after, maybe we can start incorporating outdoor grows.
So what qualifies as an indoor grow?
So basically, it just has to be a secure, enclosed building.
It's like the metal buildings you see.
As long as it's a secure facility and it has proper security and everything, you should be okay. Like a greenhouse with plastic walls isn't going to work.
Right. So like the metal building with the door that you can lock, that you can put lights in and cameras and alarm, all that type of stuff. If you can do that, then that will be a secure building. That's for a micro grow.
Yeah. Okay. Of course, if you're doing commercial, you're going to be looking at something like a brick and mortar building, concrete blocks, those kinds of things for a massive building.
So on a micro grow, you couldn't grow it in your house.
No.
Okay, it has to be. So those are questions you got to ask because you got to let folks know. So if you pay $1,500, so micro grow would be a secure metal building in your backyard or somewhere that you can lock down with security, lights, and all that. Even though it's on your property, and even though it's considered a micro grow, you can't grow it in your house. It has to be in an exterior building. It can't be a plastic building, something somebody can take a knife and cut in and break in. It has to be somewhere where you can lock it down with cameras and electricity and access to water. Those conversations, what I'm saying about breaking it down and help people understand it, like, oh, well, you can go get a 20 by 40 metal building on a concrete slab, put power and lights in it, and then let you know, okay, now, but that's still not all you need to do the grow, right? You need a lot more stuff.
You do.
Yeah.
And those are the things that people that want to get into the industry, we were so worried about, taking that they'll technically be first generation growers.
Right.
So we're trying to get as many people connected and network together so that they can ask advice. Most people in the cannabis industry will not care to give you a little bit of advice to help you get off the ground. So, most of the community wants everybody to build together because we know the more we all build this community, that federal legalization is nearer. And that means it's getting removed as a Schedule I drug. That means that we're getting worldwide acceptance. And that means we're all getting normalized lives back. So I think everybody considers that a win and wants to really help everybody else in this industry. And that's what makes this industry different. So it's not only the money that people can make, it's the career choice that you're making, because it's not just quantity, it's quality.
Right.
It's a great life to have in cannabis. It just is.
So to become a dispensary, there's a licensure, there's for those. And if you own a dispensary in Mississippi, you have to get your product from Mississippi, correct?
Yes. At this point, yes. And now when federal legalization happens, I really believe that we'll be able to order from Washington and Oregon and California and all that, have that stuff stocked on our shelves fully all the time, regularly. But as we ease into it, you will see Mississippi grown products directly on the shelves.
So whether focusing that you got 160,000 square foot grow facility, they still got to have somewhere to sell it.
Yes.
So everybody that might want to open a dispensary have to be connected to a grow facility so they can get that stuff here. I mean, and just think about the liquor stores, or think about the drug stores. Think about all these different stores. Like, there's a pattern with CVS and Walgreens. Everywhere there's a Walgreens, there's always going to be a CVS. That's what they do. Around the country, they follow each other. And they have them all across, like, it's probably what, 10 of them across the city of Jackson, if not more.
Yeah.
And this we're talking about Jackson. So there's plenty of room for dispensary growth. Plenty of room for that. We're going to talk about all of that. Make sure you come out to the expo, get information, come ready, come prepared, partner up with somebody. There's a lot of growth out there and a lot of things that people can do. We're going to get y'all back on the show. We're going to keep updating folks. We're going to give you everything in one night. We're not going to do that, right? We want to make sure that we continue to educate folks on the real issues and come up with real solutions. This is a medical benefit. We talk about health and wealth. We had our brother on, Jay Norris, Mr. Health and Wealth. This is a health and a wealth benefit, and it's all done by the plant. You can't get no better. You can't do it. We're telling like a TI is. This is one thing that's definitely Mississippi. Let's not mess this up, Mississippi. Yeah. We tend to take some shit and figure out a way to stand in the tree and make it wrong. So yeah, let's make sure we stay on the ground, keep a level head, and let's not mess this up. And let's make sure this benefit people for years to come. Bethany, we thank you for coming on. You dropped your information in the chat. Did you drop it in the chat up there?
I think it came through the chat. It kicked me out when I tried. So it's
no, you put it in the private chat. You got to put it in the comments.
Sorry, I was just follow Cannon Hill Consulting, you guys, and the Arena organization. And my name is Bethany Hill. Check me out on Facebook. All of our social medias will be doing a relaunch in March. So we'll have lots of information for you guys coming out over the next couple of weeks.
All right, follow the flyer, and if you want to participate, it's going to be open to the public. Come ready, have your resumes ready, have your business plans ready. Continue to pass to spread the word. This is a big thing, and we'll make sure that you are at the forefront of it. We appreciate you for coming on, Bethany, and we'll catch you up later.
I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
So we're winding things down right now here at Nightcap Knowledge, and that's something that I wanted to talk about after I've cussed out and fussed with AT&T, but it's just talking about the changes in our society and how things are moving. It wasn't the issue about the 4G or 5G. It was the issue of you continue to cut folks' phone off, and the only way they can get their phone back on is will them to say that I'm going to sign for this upgrade. There are a lot of things that are happening in society where they're taking away people's choice. It might seem small to others, but for me, the other day, folks worried about you and can't get in contact with you. And to a degree, you didn't even know your phone wasn't working until you get ready to use it. So that's just one of the things. So I just want us to understand about the choices we make and how society is changing, and understand that society is designed to meet the needs of the people. As people, we can push back. There's multiple ways to push back. Don't think that you just have to go along to get along. You can push back. There's been people pushing back against a lot of things, these last few years. You can push back. Um, but something else I wanted to talk about. We had a real tragedy that happened. The young lady who lost her life. My condolences to her family and friends. But also, I want to speak to those family members and that might know some youth or somebody in their family or their own child that's battling with some issues like that. And I worked in psych in a PRTF, and I always would talk about the adults that failed the child for them to get to the point where they are. And a lot of systems, a lot of things happen for them to get to where they are. And I've seen it where people argue back and forth on whose job it is, whose responsibility it is. But the child is the one that suffers. Children have more issues with anxiety, stress, depression, and all of those things more than adults. They got the same feelings and emotions as adults. But the only thing about children is they have less capacity of their life to do something about it. They can't choose. If you work at a job and you work with some assholes and people that make you feel uncomfortable, you got an option to quit. But if you go to school and someone is bullying you, or you have a adult that is being less than mature and that is not doing what they're supposed to do, you have less capacity to say, I don't want to go here anymore. You, as a child, they tell you just take it. We all done had some assholes that are teachers. Some people that didn't have no business being around children, not even they had no business being around people. But because of shortage, they hire folks. And I'm just telling you that we have to be careful what we say. And I always talk about transferring of negative energy. Don't transfer your negative energy and your situation um, onto anybody else, especially a child. Children do not know how to process things. Children do not know how to handle their own things, and they definitely don't know how to handle yours. So we have to think about how we handle ourselves when we're dealing with our youth. Our youth are out there, they are crying, they are in desperate need, they are lost, they are in need of guidance and support, and sometimes they just want to be heard. Um, and we have to take them seriously and not be judgmental. Don't be so quick to be angry with them. We all got on folks' nerves, especially if it's as a teenager. That's what we do. That's what they do. But as adults, we have to think about now it's a big difference in 2022 being a 16-year-old than it was in 1996. And so we got to look at those things that plays a major part in what we see now for is bullying and depression and anxiety and stress. They're dealing with factors we never had to deal with. I'm talking to people across the country right now from social media. We didn't have this option right now when we were 16 years old. And yes, 16 years old, 1996 is a big difference. What was happening in 1996? And that was a big difference from 1996 than it was from 1976. So as our society change, we have to look at those things. Every time they say that they're changing some things for our benefit, we got to look at some of the negative that comes along with that. That means you got to do some things differently. But I want to start. We started several things to deal with this. We had the Parents Academy. We've done Man Talk, where we just had conversation with young men and men from around the community. But also we had Therapeutic Thursday. We started doing the summer camp, Freedom Summer, we just to get together in a circle and we talk and had a way to process. And you learn from other folks and also professionals on how you process. And sometimes it's just being able to talk. And we never know. We got to look at our own selves, especially as adults and the parents. What type of environment are we creating? Because that stressor that child that you put that's been put on that child, they can't handle it. But I definitely want parents to really sit down with their children. If they are a parental figure, if they work with youth, and just have some open discussions and dialogues, and find out what are some of the things on their mind. Because a lot of times they are dealing with some stuff that's pent up, that's suppressed, and they are not telling you what they worried about or what they're dealing with, or somebody's saying something to them or picking on them. And if they do, just think about it. How much difference would it make by making a small change in how you do stuff if that's going to help save a life? Now, there's some folks that please stop sharing the video of the young lady falling to her death. Nobody wants to see that. That is very, as it's not tactful. It is definitely not thinking about her family and friends and those who want to see that, because it's a tragic situation, very traumatizing situation. And so stop sharing it. Now, for those folks that roll by and didn't intervene, understand this, that in life, you have two options. You're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution. We don't have a healthcare problem. We don't have a crime problem. We don't have an education problem. We have a people problem. People do not give a shit. We do not care about others. We do not care about what happened to others. We barely care about our own. Some of the folks don't care about themselves. We do not care. That's part of our problem. We don't care about ourselves. And because we don't care about ourselves, we don't care about other folks. Intervene. Do something. We have to get back to the culture where we ask questions. And as parents, your children, if your children are out running around or whatever's happening, you have to be that parent to listen and want somebody, an adult figure, to intervene and say something. Don't always think the negative about something happening. We used to look out for each other. We got to get back to that. We got to have that understanding. And we got to become a community again and not just be a centralized place with houses. In the community we grew up in, there was no faith-based community. There was no education community. There was no dope. It was a community. Everybody that was in that area was a part of the community. No matter what they did, you are a part of the community. There's no separation. We are together. We are one. We can have an impact in each other's lives and our children's lives and family lives and friends' lives. Each one of you guys are blessed with a talent and you work in a profession, and that profession is used to benefit somebody else. But we have to do it to the best of our ability because somebody's life is at stake. I've been to that school, and before any of this happened, I talked about some of the negative engagement that we had as adults. When we came in with a suit and tie to speak, there were some folks that it was just some negative energy in there. And I watched and seen how folks talk to some of the children. So we have to look and be careful who we got over us and our children, and those and also over our elderly. We got to make sure we do a better job of holding folks accountable. And if we can't do it ourselves. But I want to bring back Therapeutic Thursday. I want to bring back a safe space for parents and children that can just want to come and talk about some of the things that's going on. Nothing formal, no documentation, no treatment plan type thing. An open discussion, somewhat of a support group where we can sit and talk, because there's no handbook. Now, there are people that created a handbook with some guides and regulations and things you should do, but there is no parent handbook. Each thing is different based on your living situation, the personality of the child, everything is different. But there are certain concrete things that we need to make sure that are instilled in our household, our children, and our community, because you're raising your caregiver, you're raising your future, you're raising your present. And we want to make sure not only that we are doing the best for them, that the people around them are doing the best for them. And stop doing damage control institutions. Stop covering up shit and hold folks accountable and put their ass out there on Front Street. If you did something wrong, you did it wrong. Let folks know who did it and hold them accountable. There's a lot of shit that went wrong. A lot of people did some wrong stuff. They need to be held accountable. They need to be held accountable, and folks need to know that. And people need to do a reality check and figure out, maybe it's a time to evaluate. Maybe it's time for you to go. No, I don't want you working in cannabis because we don't want that negative energy in the plant. How almost said we want you to work it. No, you need to find something else. Stop taking positions just because it's open. Find your call and find out where you need to be. But some folks got to get something right with themselves. And Once you get something right with yourself, self-evaluation and assessment, and find out what's going on with you. And I always say, learn who you are and whose you are, then things will be a lot different. Accept the things you cannot change, but also pray that God grant you the serenity and the strength to change the things that you can. All right. So do that for us. We are winding our time down. Yes, Sabir, it's sick. And it's a sick thing that people continue to share just because they have the capacity to. So, I'm down for that. I know our schedules are crazy, but we know our children, our youth, our people in our community need it. There are some parents right now that got children they don't know what to do with, and they want some help. They want someone to talk to. They want guidance. They want that. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do, and they don't want to give up on their child. We need places for folks to talk to. And I'm telling you, we got so much going on in our community that every empty space from what do they call them? From every gymnasium to fellowship hall will be full because folks need this. And we're going to do what we got to do to supply to have food whenever we kick off. And whenever we kick off, we're going to make sure we kick off, even if I have to change the day and change the title, so it can be consistent, because consistency is key. But it's coming. It's going to happen. It's something we've been doing already. We took a break from it, came back, but we talked to a lot of people individually and personally. And I know from talking to individuals that a lot of people out there hurting. So that's all I have for everybody. We thank you for tuning in for Nightcap Knowledge. As always, we talk about getting to where the money reside, and we're going to continue to work on getting to where the money reside. Budget your own income, live below your means. Understand that for what is for you is for you. Stop worrying about what other folks is doing. Stop worrying about how many children folks having. Y'all got this shit going on between Nick Cannon and these are celebrities. They are doing what they do. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Worry about you and yourself. All right. So talk to y'all later. See y'all on the next episode of Nightcap Knowledge. Stay tuned. Continue to follow the page. Continue to like. Continue to share. And we got good information. Continue to remember that we are real talk, real issues, real solution. This show is rated Black and Uncensored. Peace.